Hello. All right, so got into this a little bit late for how to change the chain on your 700 Raptor. This has an aftermarket swing arm, so you won't have to remove this big ridiculous skid plate, but in order to do this, you're going to need a 36 millimeter socket for taking off the front. There we go. Nut. Yes, this guy right here. This right here goes in behind the nut. Once you tighten it down, you'll pin it over. I'll show that in just a few minutes here. This chain that I took off was a non-O-ring chain, and it is very worn out. It's done. Don't recommend non-O-ring chains, especially for going in the sand. You want to do the right thing and get yourself a good, especially if it's a high horsepower vehicle, you want to get yourself a good at least O-ring, if not X-ring chain. On this particular one, I need to use the impact to get these sprocket bolts off. They had Loctite on them. This chain that I bought is a 520 chain. It's a RK chain, and it's more like the ones that you would see on street bikes, and so it has what's called a press-on link. All right, and the press-on link requires usually that you have a tool to put this on. I have the tool. It's at home. I'm in Glamis. I asked everybody. Nobody has the tool because most of the dirt bike chains will come with the master link and a slip-on clip that looks like this. So you'll have just a link that slides on, and then you just have this clip that slides over. Well, this one is not that way. This one is actual press fit, and you have to actually press the link together. You cannot do it with regular pliers. It needs to be some like vice grips. And the way that I was able to make that happen and get it to slide on far enough, because if you look on here, you can't get in the middle of the link. So what I ended up doing was taking a washer. Not sure where the washer went.
Up there.
There. All right. All right. I took a washer and I put it over. Let's see where.
You rotated it. It's underneath right there. It's right there.
On the bottom here.
Yeah, it's on the bottom.
Okay, let's see. Here it is. All right, right here, and I put the washer over here, and I took these and pushed it down on both sides, and it was able to get it pressed through. And then what you have to do is mushroom out this side right here. They call it staking. I just put you can either use a punch or anything that'll actually just deform this side of the link, and that way the link can't come off. But it's really pressed on there. So that's how you do a press-on link without a tool, the right tool. So I made it work. So you can too. That's what you do in your pinch. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. It's just putting bolts in. Those are my tips for a press-on link when you don't have no tools. These sprockets do have specific names. The one on the front is the counter shaft sprocket. This shaft that sticks out is called the counter shaft. It's the drive shaft. counter shaft, drive shaft, sprocket, and the one on the back is going to be the driven sprocket. So it takes the power from the front and transfers it to the rear wheels. The chain is what powers that. So we don't want this to come loose, so we've got this washer that we put on first, and it splines onto the splines on the counter shaft, and then we're going to take and we're going to put our nut on. You're going to want to put the indented side towards the engine, because that way it'll go over and it'll push over these splines right here. So there is a torque value for this. I'm just going to use the good old impact wrench and do probably about 4 or 5 ugga-duggas. There it is. This is a 36 millimeter. It is a large socket. You'll find these at AutoZone. That's about the same size as some of the axles on like Hondas and Toyotas and stuff like that. About the same size. So you'll find a 36 millimeter socket at those places. Prices vary from, I don't know, 15 to 35 bucks. So put this on here. Usually you'll have somebody hold the brake on so that it doesn't spin. All right, so we've got that tightened up, and now what I need to do is this washer that's on the back, we're going to take and fold it forward. So I may have to use a hammer for this.
It looks like it's been hammered before.
Yes, it has been used before. It had chain and sprockets changed once when they put the swing arm on it. So they're not original. I've actually got a chisel. It's not very sharp, so I don't know. We'll try the chisel. Chisel's a little better than messing up your screwdriver. Trick is to get behind it and then fold it forward. So started with the screwdriver, and now I'll use the chisel, and you can see it's folding down. You want to fold it all the way down. So now this nut cannot rotate and loosen up on you. So it's effective Loctite for that. So that's how you do that guy. And then we'll move to the back. All right, so we already tightened up the sprocket. Now, to adjust the chain on the back, I will tell you that I've been adjusting chains since the 80s. I have not looked up the spec on what this should be, but it needs to be a lot less than it is. This has an eccentric in here, and by eccentric that means that the center of this is offset, and when you rotate this center piece, it gets looser and tighter depending on which way the eccentric is rolled. So I was moving it earlier. I put a Allen tool in there, and I was using the axle and the sprocket to move the eccentric around. I'm sure there's a tool that fits on here. I'm sure some people are gonna be like, hey, why aren't you using the Yamaha tool? I don't have the tool. So this is a way to do it. It's maybe not the right way, but this is a way to do it. So we're gonna rotate this eccentric. So we're gonna take up the slop in the chain. because this is a new chain, we're probably going to get it a tiny bit on the tight side, because it's more likely going to stretch some when you first use it. So there are some bikes that between the extent the swing arm being down and the swing arm being up, that it actually rotates and it increases the distance from the center line of this and the center line of the engine, and you'll have to allow for that. This bike doesn't seem to have that too much. I'm going to leave it right around here. This is roughly maybe 1 inch play total of where this pin moves up and down, maybe 1.5 inches. So I think I'm going to put it right there, and then on the back you've just got these bolts. They just pinch the axle carrier. That's the axle carrier back there. The axle goes through it. The axle carrier is eccentric. You'll lock that into place, and then that's it'll stay adjusted until you typically, I don't know, it's miles on a street bike, and maybe check it after a couple hours of riding on the quad or dirt bike to make sure you know it doesn't start getting too loose. The penalty for not adjusting your chain, if you just don't pay attention to your chain, this chain in the front here, you can run into really bad problems. So if this chain gets really loose and actually comes off the back sprocket, because it can get that loose, what'll happen is it'll come off and it'll come into the front right here, and there'll be like the link will get bound up and it'll break the case right here, and it's really bad. You pretty much you have to get new cases, and it's obviously very expensive. You have to have the whole engine disassembled, new cases, possibly new engine, just because you might have to shop for just an engine that didn't get crunched. So they do make these blocks that guide the chain, but honestly, if you just watch your chain adjustment, you really won't have this chain come off like that and break. Every single ride, you should take a peek at your chain, make sure that it's got the proper play, and then every so often, if it's starting to look a little dry, make sure you get some chain lube. Whatever your favorite is, I kind of like the chain wax. I don't have any here right now, but that's my recommendation. So comment in the section below if you have any questions or critiques. I'll take either one, but let me know. Thanks. And like and subscribe, please. I'll keep putting out this stuff for you guys. It's good tips that I've had to learn the hard way. Also, I should say, one thing that I have learned the hard way as a young man, I only replaced the chain. And I'm going to tell you that all 3 of these components wear together, and if you don't replace all 3 of them together and just replace the chain, that chain is only going to last maybe 1/3 as long as it should. Because what happens is these teeth get worn out, and this distance where the chain lands in here starts increasing. It starts making the chain stretch. When it stretches, it starts wearing it out. And trust me, you'll be very sorry if you don't do your sprockets and chain all at one time. You just got to do it, or you're going to be sacrificing that chain. It's going to wear out way early. So, yep, those are my tips and tricks for chain sprockets. Full throttle blog. Stormtrooper Glamis right now. See ya.